Earth was attacked. The council froze, unable to speak. Earth was attacked. The council froze, unable to speak. Part 1. The council chamber floated in silence above the bright center of the galaxy. It was a vast round hall made of silver metal and dark glass. Seats rose in circles, one above another, filled with beings from hundreds of worlds. Some were tall and thin with pale skin. Some were wide and heavy with glowing eyes. Others had no clear shape at all, only shifting colors behind clear shields. At the center of the chamber stood a single platform of light. That platform was where a species spoke when it had something important to say. Daniel Brooks stood there now. He was not tall compared to many in the chamber. He did not glow. He did not have claws or armor. He wore a simple dark suit, and his brown hair was cut short. His hands were calm at his sides, though his heart was not calm. The council had called this meeting to discuss trade paths near the outer systems. It was a small matter. Most of the chamber had already grown bored. Ethan Clark, the council security analyst, watched the room from a raised console near the wall. He was human like Daniel, but he wore a gray uniform with a silver badge on his chest. His eyes moved from screen to screen, checking signals and data. Maya Collins sat beside him at the communications desk. Her fingers moved quickly over the glowing panel in front of her. She was young, with dark hair tied back, and she tried to look calm even when her mind raced. The humans had only joined the council 3 years ago. They were still seen as new, still seen as weak. Daniel cleared his throat. "Earth thanks the council for hearing us today," he began in clear, simple words. A few alien delegates shifted in their seats. One of them, a tall being with 4 thin arms, spoke through a soft translator field. "Proceed, Ambassador Brooks, keep it brief." Daniel nodded. He had learned not to show anger at such words. Before he could continue, Maya's console flashed red. Her eyes widened. "Ethan," she whispered. Ethan turned. "What is it?" "We are receiving a priority signal, Level 1, direct from Earth orbit." Ethan frowned. Level 1 was not for trade disputes. It was not for small matters. "Patch it through to my screen," he said. The signal was weak. It broke apart, then reformed. Static filled the audio channel. Maya worked fast, cleaning the noise. Daniel noticed the shift in the room. He saw Maya's tense face. "Ambassador Brooks," Ethan called out. "We have an emergency transmission from Earth. It is marked urgent military." The chamber grew slightly louder. Whispers moved between delegates. Daniel felt a cold weight in his stomach. "Put it through," he said. Maya hesitated only for a second before routing the transmission to the center platform. The lights dimmed. A hologram flickered into life above Daniel's head. At first it showed only smoke. Then the image cleared. Lisa Grant appeared before the council. She stood on what looked like a command deck, but half the wall behind her was gone. Sparks fell from broken wires. Red warning lights flashed across her face. Her uniform was torn at the shoulder, and there was dried blood on her sleeve. "Daniel," she said, her voice rough but steady, "if you can hear this, we are under full assault." The chamber went silent. Daniel stared at her. "Lisa, what happened?" She took a slow breath. The sound of distant explosions echoed behind her. "They came out of dark space, no warning, no signal, a fleet larger than anything we have ever seen." The hologram shifted. The view changed to space above Earth. Ships filled the sky. They were black and sharp, shaped like blades. Hundreds of them surrounded the blue planet. Bright beams of light struck the surface. Explosions flared across continents. Several alien delegates gasped. Maya covered her mouth with her hand. Lisa's voice continued over the image. "Orbital defense grid failed in under 8 minutes. We lost the northern stations first. Civilian satellites are gone. Major cities are being hit." The view snapped back to Lisa. "Earth was attacked," she said. The words hung in the air. The council froze, unable to speak. For many long seconds, no one moved. Ethan's fingers tightened on the edge of his console. He checked the data feed. It was real. There was no sign of trick or error. Daniel felt as if the floor had dropped away beneath him. "Who are they?" he asked. "We do not know," Lisa replied. "Their ships carry no council markings. Their signals do not match any registered species. They are targeting power centers and command hubs first. This is a full invasion." Another explosion shook her position. The hologram flickered. "We are evacuating what we can," she said. "Admiral Ryan Scott has taken command of the remaining fleet. Chloe Bennett is leading counter strikes near the moon, but they are outnumbered." Behind Daniel, a delegate with green skin leaned forward. "Ambassador Brooks," the alien said, This is a local conflict. The Council does not interfere in internal wars. Daniel turned slowly. His face was pale, but his voice was firm. This is not an internal war. This is an unprovoked attack on a Council member world. A low murmur moved through the chamber. Another delegate spoke, this one with a smooth metal body. If we act without knowing the attacker, we risk wider conflict. Lisa's voice cut through the noise. With respect, we do not have time for debate. The hologram shifted again, showing a human warship breaking apart under heavy fire. Smaller fighter craft darted around it like insects. One of them exploded in a bright flash. Maya's eyes filled with tears, but she kept working to keep the signal clear. Ethan leaned close to her. "Can you trace the attackers?" "I am trying," she said. "Their data stream is shielded. It is like they planned for us." Daniel looked back at Lisa. "What do you need?" "We need support," she said. "Any fleet, any aid, even observers. If the Council stands for peace, now is the time." Her voice did not shake. The chamber did. Delegates whispered among themselves. Some looked afraid, others looked angry, a few looked thoughtful. One of the oldest members of the Council, a being with deep blue skin and bright white eyes, rose slowly from its seat. "The Council must vote before sending forces," it said in a slow, calm tone. "We require data on the aggressor." Daniel clenched his jaw. "By the time you gather data, Earth may be gone." Silence answered him. Lisa glanced over her shoulder. Someone off-screen shouted orders. "We are losing the Eastern Shield Network," she said. "Daniel, listen to me. If this transmission fails, tell them we did not start this. Tell them we asked for peace." Another blast rocked the station. The hologram shook violently. Static burst across the image. "Lisa," Daniel said sharply. She met his eyes one last time. "We will hold as long as we can." The transmission cut out. The chamber lights brightened again, but no one spoke. The image of burning cities still floated in the air like a ghost. Daniel stood alone on the platform. He looked around at the rows of silent faces. "Earth is not a threat to this Council," he said quietly. "We followed every rule. We shared our science. We opened our markets. And now we are under attack." He paused. "If this can happen to us, it can happen to any of you." Ethan stepped down from his console and moved closer to the center. "Security confirms multiple high-energy signatures in the Sol system," he announced. "This is not a raid. It is an organized assault." A few delegates began speaking at once, their voices mixing in confusion. Maya stood up. "I am detecting strange signal bursts from the attacking fleet. They are not communicating with us. It is as if we do not exist to them." Daniel felt anger rising in his chest, but he forced himself to stay calm. "We request immediate defensive support," he said. "Even a single carrier group could slow them." The blue-skinned elder lowered its gaze. "The Council has not faced a war in over 2 centuries. Our fleets are not prepared for sudden action." Daniel gave a small, bitter smile. "Neither were we." More silence followed. Some delegates avoided his eyes. Others watched him closely, as if seeing humanity for the first time. Ethan's console beeped again. He looked down, then back up. "Ambassador," he said softly. "We are losing contact with several human outposts beyond Mars." Daniel nodded once. He understood what that meant. He stepped off the platform and walked toward Ethan and Maya. Maya spoke in a low voice. "I can try to boost the signal, maybe reach Admiral Scott directly." "Do it," Daniel said. She worked quickly, sending coded bursts toward the Sol system. For a moment, nothing came back. Then a faint signal answered. A new hologram flickered into view. Ryan Scott appeared, his face lined with strain. Behind him, alarms flashed red. "Ambassador," he said. "We are engaging near Jupiter. Enemy numbers are increasing. We believe they are bringing in reinforcements through some kind of jump corridor." Daniel took a steady breath. "The Council is considering options." Ryan gave a short nod. He understood the meaning behind the words. "Tell them this," Ryan said. "If Earth falls, we will not surrender. We will fight from every rock and every ship left standing." The signal crackled. "We will make them remember our name." The feed cut again. The Council chamber felt colder than before. Daniel looked at the gathered species, at their fear and doubt. He realized something in that moment. No one was coming. The Council had power. It had fleets. It had weapons beyond anything Earth could build, but it did not have courage. Daniel stepped back onto the central platform one final time. "Very well," he said. His voice was calm now. "Humanity will defend itself." He bowed his head slightly, a simple human gesture of respect. "We will remember who stood with us." No one answered. The meeting ended without a vote. As the delegates slowly left the chamber, whispers followed them. Ethan stood beside Daniel. "I am sorry," Ethan said. Daniel looked up at the stars visible through the great glass wall. Far away beyond sight, his home was burning. "Do not be sorry," Daniel replied. "Be ready." Maya approached them, her face pale but steady. "I still have a weak signal from Earth," she said. "They are fighting." Daniel nodded. "Yes," he said quietly. "We always do." Above the silent council chamber, the galaxy turned as it always had. But for humanity, everything had changed. The sky over Earth was dark with smoke and fire. Cities that once sparkled with lights now lay in ruin. The orbital defense platforms, designed to protect humanity, were broken and drifting as silent debris. Far above, in hidden space near the moon, human warships began to gather. Admiral Ryan Scott stood on the bridge of the flagship Liberty. He was a tall man with graying hair at the temples, his uniform neat but stained with ash. His face was tired, but his eyes were sharp. He studied the holographic display of the enemy fleet. Hundreds of ships hovered near Earth, each one larger and more advanced than anything the humans had seen before. Chloe Bennett, leader of the fighter squadrons, leaned over the console beside him. She was young and fast, with dark hair pulled tight behind her head. Her hands moved quickly over the controls, coordinating the few surviving fighters. "Admiral," she said, "we have less than 10 minutes before the next bombardment wave hits New York and Washington. The civilians in the cities." "Chloe," Ryan said, cutting her off, "we do what we can, but our priority is survival. Protecting the fleet comes first. Without it, there is nothing left to defend the planet." Chloe swallowed, her jaw tight. "I understand, sir, but they need us." Ryan nodded. "I know." In the engineering bay below, Lucas Gray, chief engineer, was busy. Sparks flew from the walls as he worked on the hidden experimental weapons. He had been preparing these devices for years, but no one outside Earth's top command had ever seen them. "Lucas," Olivia Hart, intelligence officer, called, walking into the bay. She held a small data pad, her face pale from the reports she had just read. "The attackers are unlike anything we have faced before. Their ships have shields that resist our normal weapons. Our drones are being destroyed before they even reach them." Lucas wiped sweat from his forehead. "I know. That is why I am readying the graviton bombs. They can disrupt enemy formations, but they are risky. One misstep and they could destroy half our fleet." Olivia's eyes widened. "Are we willing to take that risk?" Lucas looked at the glowing reactors around him. "We have no choice. If Earth falls, there will be nothing left to save." Above the planet, small fighter ships darted between enemy lines. Chloe's squadron moved like shadows, striking at vulnerable points and then retreating before the enemy could respond. "Target locked," one pilot reported. "Engaging." Explosions lit the void of space, but for every enemy ship destroyed, 3 more took its place. The humans were outnumbered, and they knew it. Back on the Liberty, Ryan studied the data streams. "We need more than skill," he said. "We need something unexpected, something the enemy cannot predict." Lucas's voice came over the intercom. "I have something. But it will require a coordinated strike. Chloe, your squadron will need to lead." Chloe's hands paused over the controls. "Understood. What do you need me to do?" "Fly close to their formation," Lucas said. "Release the drones. Let gravity traps pull them into our detonators." "We only get one chance." Ryan clenched his jaw. "Make it count. Humanity is counting on you." Meanwhile, in the underground command center beneath the ruins of Washington, Daniel Brooks watched the reports as they arrived. The council had not acted. They remained silent, frozen by fear. Humanity could not rely on them. The weight of the world rested on human shoulders alone. He turned to Maya Collins. "Keep communications open with Earth. Relay every message, every signal. The council may be slow, but at least they can see the truth." Maya nodded, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "I am sending live feeds. They will see what is happening, whether they want to or not." Outside the command center, the sky was filled with smoke and fire. Ryan's fleet moved in silence, like a small shadow against the massive enemy armada. Chloe led the first wave, fighters weaving through debris and laser fire. One by one, human ships engaged. The enemy fired beams that cut through steel. Explosions rocked the smaller ships. Some were lost instantly, others fought with everything they had. Chloe's squadron pressed forward. She saw a massive enemy ship preparing a beam strike aimed at a human city. She called out, "Admiral, I am going in. I can stop it, but I need cover." Ryan gave a sharp nod. You have it, all remaining squadrons support her. Do not let that weapon fire. The fighters sped forward, dodging beams and debris. Chloe fired missiles, weaving in and out of the enemy formation. Her squadron followed, a blur of human determination against impossible odds. On the ground, civilians watched the sky in horror. The communication networks broadcast warnings and evacuation orders, but chaos was everywhere. People ran from falling debris, from fires that spread across streets. Hospitals worked beyond capacity. Families held each other as the sounds of explosions shook the ground. Back on the fleet, Lucas Gray's gravity traps activated. Tiny devices floated into the path of the enemy ships. At first, nothing happened. Then the traps pulled on the massive vessels, disrupting their formations. The enemy flagship faltered, its trajectory breaking apart. Chloe and her squadron seized the moment. They launched everything they had at the weakened ships. Explosions lit the void. Beams struck at impossible angles, finding weak points that the enemy had not known existed. Ryan Scott's face was tense. He could see the tide turning, not completely, not yet, but the humans had found a way to fight back. In the command center, Daniel Brooks spoke into a live feed for the council. "Watch carefully," he said. "This is humanity. We fight for our home, we fight for our future. We will not fall quietly." Maya sent the feed to every council monitor she could access. Slowly, delegates began to watch. Faces that had ignored humanity's requests now turned pale as they saw the courage and the struggle of the humans. The battle stretched across hours. The human fleet, though smaller, used speed, cunning, and unexpected strategies to survive. Chloe's squadron managed to destroy the enemy weapon targeting Earth. Small human ships moved like shadows, striking vulnerable points, then disappearing. Ryan's plan worked. Gravity traps and experimental weapons broke enemy formations. Enemy ships collided, malfunctioned, and were destroyed. But the cost was heavy. Many pilots did not return. Several human ships were lost. The survivors pressed on, knowing that failure meant the end. Finally, after what felt like endless hours, the enemy paused. They regrouped, confused by the humans' unexpected tactics. The fleet faltered, retreating slightly from the solar system. On the flagship bridge, Ryan exhaled. "It is not over," he said, "but they are learning that Earth is not an easy target." Chloe's squadron returned, battered but alive. She landed on the carrier deck, her hands trembling from fatigue. "We did what we could," she said, "for now." In the underground command center, Daniel watched the reports. The cities were still in danger, but the human resistance had survived. Their fleet remained a symbol of defiance. Lucas Gray came down to the command center, his face smudged with grease and ash. "We still have weapons ready," he said. "We can keep fighting. We can push them back further if needed." Olivia Hart joined him. "The enemy underestimated us. They thought humanity would fall easily. They were wrong." Daniel nodded. "We have only just begun. Earth is not safe, but we will make it safe. And the council will see that humanity is not weak." Far above, the council chamber remained silent. Some delegates had seen the live feeds. Some had watched the courage and the losses. Some had even begun to whisper among themselves. Daniel knew they would not act yet. Fear and caution still held them in place. Humanity could not wait. They had to rely on themselves. "Prepare the next wave," Daniel said. "Send more ships. Alert every hidden facility. Earth will not fall. We will fight for every inch of ground, and we will survive." Maya nodded, her fingers flying across the keyboard. She sent signals to every fleet, every outpost, every remaining human vessel. The planet might be under attack, but humanity was far from defeated. Outside, in the void of space, human and enemy ships moved like chess pieces. Explosions lit the darkness. Fires burned on Earth. The humans were battered, but they had hope. Chloe Bennett looked out from her fighter cockpit at the stars. "We are not finished," she whispered. "Not yet." Ryan Scott's voice came through the comms. "Keep fighting, everyone. For Earth, for humanity, we will not let them win." And for the first time in centuries, the humans knew the truth. They could be beaten, but they would never be broken. They had lost much, but they still had their courage. They still had each other. And they still had a planet worth fighting for. The enemy fleet retreated for now, but the humans knew it was only a matter of time before they returned. When they did, humanity would be ready. In the hidden shipyards, underground bunkers, and battered orbital stations, the people of Earth worked as one. They repaired ships, rebuilt defenses, and prepared for the battles to come. Daniel Brooks looked at the stars beyond the glass wall of the command center. "They came to destroy us," he said quietly, "but they will learn that Earth is not so easy to break." Maya nodded. "And when the Council finally acts, they will see what humans are capable of." For now, the fight continued, and humanity would not stop until their home was safe. The fire of survival burned brighter than any attack, and the humans of Earth would carry that fire into the dark reaches of space. Even when the Council hesitated, even when allies remained silent, Earth would fight. And it would not fall. Far from Earth, near the orbit of Jupiter, the human fleet gathered in secret. The ships were battered, some barely holding together, but the humans were ready. They had learned quickly. They had adapted. They had no choice. Admiral Ryan Scott stood on the bridge of the Liberty. The screens around him showed the enemy fleet approaching. Hundreds of massive black ships, their weapons glowing, moved with precision. Yet the humans had something the enemy did not expect: strategy, cunning, and desperation. Chloe Bennett checked her squadron's status. "All fighters are ready, sir. Damage repaired as much as possible. Weapons are online. Everyone is ready." Ryan nodded. "Good. Remember, this is not just defense. This is a fight to send a message. We cannot allow them to strike Earth again. We hit them now, and we hit them hard." Lucas Gray, the chief engineer, stood nearby, pointing to the glowing experimental weapons on the table. "I've prepared the gravity traps. The graviton disruptors can tear their formations apart. The drones are armed. Once we deploy, the enemy ships will struggle to hold together." Olivia Hart, intelligence officer, worked quickly, sending signals into the enemy fleet's sensors. "They are not expecting this," she said. "Their formations are rigid. They think they can overwhelm us by numbers. They are wrong." Daniel Brooks, connected via live video from Earth's underground command center, spoke into the comms. "Make them see humanity. Show them that we are not helpless. Every move counts. Every strike must be precise." The human fleet moved forward, leaving Jupiter's orbit behind, approaching the outer rim of the solar system. Stars flashed past the windows of the ships, and space itself seemed quiet, except for the hum of engines and the occasional warning beep. Chloe led the first wave of fighters. They darted forward, weaving through enemy laser fire. Explosions erupted around them. One of the fighter pilots, a young man named Eric Hall, shouted over comms. "Target locked! Firing!" Missiles streaked toward the enemy, some hitting their targets, some exploding harmlessly against the enemy shields. Chloe's hands flew over the controls. She dodged and weaved, firing again. Her squadron followed her lead, striking quickly and retreating before the enemy could respond. On the flagship, Ryan Scott studied the holographic map of the battlefield. "Deploy the gravity traps," he said. Lucas Gray activated the devices. Small drones floated forward, moving silently through the void. Once in place, the traps generated invisible fields of force. Enemy ships began to struggle, their formations breaking apart as the fields pulled on their hulls. "Look at them," Ryan said, his voice tight. "They are losing control." Chloe's squadron moved in, exploiting the chaos. She fired missiles at weakened ships, guiding others into collisions caused by the gravity traps. Explosions lit the darkness of space like fireworks. Daniel Brooks watched the live feed from Earth. He could see the humans' courage and skill. He could see the enemy faltering, and he knew that the Council was watching too, though still silent. Maya Collins worked quickly, broadcasting the battle to every possible Council monitor. "Let them see," she whispered. "Let them understand that humans are not weak." The enemy flagship faltered as Chloe's squadron attacked. Its massive hull glowed red as shields failed. Smaller ships collided around it, chaos spreading like wildfire through the enemy fleet. Ryan Scott took a deep breath. "Now we strike the core," he said. "Lucas, target the energy nodes in the center of their formation. Chloe, guide the drones. Every ship in the fleet must act together." Chloe's voice came over comms. "Understood. Everyone stay sharp. We do this once. No mistakes." The human fleet moved as one. Drones floated into the enemy formation. Gravity traps twisted and pulled the massive ships into vulnerable positions. Fighter squadrons darted between the gaps, firing missiles and lasers. One by one, the enemy ships exploded or collided. Bright flashes lit the dark void. The flagship was targeted last. Chloe's squadron flew close, weaving through enemy fire. She fired the final missiles, striking at the weak points Lucas had identified. The enemy flagship shuddered, caught in the gravity trap, and then exploded in a blinding flash. Debris scattered across the void. The smaller enemy ships struggled to regroup. Ryan Scott allowed himself a short smile. "It is working," he said. "We are breaking them." Daniel Brooks felt a spark of hope. The humans were not only surviving, they were winning. He spoke into the comms. "Keep pushing. Do not stop until they retreat." The enemy, stunned by the humans' unexpected tactics, began to pull back. Their formations were broken, their confidence shaken. For the first time, they retreated in fear of the humans. Chloe's squadron cheered over comms. They had done what seemed impossible. They had struck fear into the hearts of an enemy who believed themselves unstoppable. Ryan studied the remaining ships. "This is not the end," he said, "but we have shown them that humanity is not to be underestimated. We have the upper hand now. Press it." On the Liberty, the crew worked quickly to repair damage and prepare for the next wave. Every human ship, every pilot, every crew member knew the cost of failure. They had lost friends, allies, and cities. But they had also won a victory that would be remembered. Daniel Brooks spoke to Maya and Ethan Clark. "The Council must see this," he said. "They cannot remain silent now. Humanity has proven its strength. They have to acknowledge us." Maya nodded. "I am broadcasting everything. They will see. There is no hiding from what we have done." In the council chamber, some delegates finally began to speak. They whispered to each other, watching the live feed of the humans' bravery. Some faces showed fear, some showed respect, some showed disbelief. Daniel knew their silence would not last much longer. Humanity had changed the game. The Council could not ignore the courage and skill displayed by Earth's defenders. Back in the human fleet, the enemy ships regrouped, preparing for a possible retreat. But Ryan Scott was ready. "Prepare the final strike," he said. "We will not let them recover easily. Humanity will make them remember this day." Chloe's squadron moved into position. Fighters darted between enemy ships, striking at the weakened points. Missiles exploded against shields. Drones pulled ships into collisions. The enemy fleet faltered further, unable to maintain control. Lucas Gray's voice came over comms. "All systems ready. Graviton disruptors charged. Initiating final sequence." A series of bright beams shot out from the human ships, striking at the core of the enemy formation. Explosions rippled through the fleet. Ships collided, shields failed, and the enemy began to break apart in full retreat. Ryan Scott allowed himself to relax slightly. "They are running. They know they cannot win against humanity." Chloe looked out at the stars, her eyes wide. "We did it," she whispered. "We actually did it." Daniel Brooks watched from Earth. His heart swelled with pride. Humanity had not only survived, they had struck a powerful blow against an enemy who had thought them weak. Maya Collins continued to broadcast the victory. "The Council is seeing everything," she said. "They cannot ignore this. They will have to act now." Ethan Clark nodded. "Humanity has changed. From now on, we are not the species they dismiss. We are the species they watch with caution." The human fleet regrouped. Ships were damaged but still functional. Pilots returned to carriers. Engineers repaired systems. Every human knew the fight was not over, but the first decisive victory had been won. Daniel spoke into the comms once more. "Today we showed the universe that humans will not be crushed. We fought against impossible odds and survived. The enemy will remember this day. The Council will remember this day, and the people of Earth will remember it forever." Chloe's voice came through, calm but firm. "We are ready for the next challenge. Earth will not fall. Humanity will not fall." Ryan Scott placed a hand on his console. "Prepare for the journey home. The battle is won, but the war continues. We must rebuild, we must strengthen, and we must be ready." The human fleet turned back toward the inner planets. Earth was still under attack in some areas, but hope burned brighter than ever. The enemy fleet had retreated, but the humans knew they would return. When they did, humanity would be waiting. The Council could no longer ignore the humans. They had seen what humanity could do. They had seen courage, strategy, and unyielding will. Daniel Brooks looked at the stars, thinking of Earth. Cities burned, people fled, but humanity had survived. They had adapted. They had fought back, and they had won a victory that no one could take away. Above Jupiter, in the black silence of space, the humans of Earth had learned a powerful truth. Even against the most powerful enemy, even against impossible odds, humanity would fight. And humanity would not lose. For the first time in centuries, the humans of Earth were not only defenders, they were conquerors of fear. And the universe would never forget it. The council chamber floated in silence above the stars. Days had passed since the human fleet had struck back at the invaders near Jupiter. The alien delegates who had once whispered, who had once doubted humanity, now sat quietly. Many were watching the reports that streamed from Earth's surviving command centers. Daniel Brooks stood in the center of the chamber, his posture calm but firm. He had returned from the underground command center to speak to the council directly. His eyes scanned the rows of delegates. Some still looked uneasy. Others could not hide their surprise. A few looked almost afraid. Lisa Grant appeared in the chamber via hologram. She was still wounded from the orbital attacks, her uniform torn and blood-stained, yet she stood tall. Her voice was strong. "The fleet has returned from the outer rim," she said. "Our pilots and crews have fought with courage. Earth is still standing. Humanity is not defeated." The chamber remained silent. Even the oldest members with centuries of experience found no words. The holographic display showed images from the battles, enemy ships exploding, human pilots risking everything, and the survival of the planet itself. Ethan Clark stepped forward, speaking for the humans present. "The Council may have feared escalation," he said quietly, "but humanity has acted. We defended our home. We struck down a force that believed it could destroy us. The enemy fleet retreated. Earth survived because we did not wait for permission to act." A green-skinned delegate shifted uncomfortably in its seat. This is unprecedented," it said. "Never has a developing species survived such an attack on this scale and fought back so effectively." Daniel nodded. "We were underestimated. You all thought we were weak. You thought we would appeal and wait. But we cannot wait when our home is under fire. We acted to survive, and we acted to show the universe that Earth cannot be destroyed without consequence." Maya Collins appeared beside Daniel on the hologram screen. "All communications and battle feeds have been shared," she said. "The Council has witnessed humanity's courage. The enemy knows now what humans are capable of, and so should you." A tall, four-armed delegate spoke, its voice shaking slightly. You have shattered our expectations. We do not know what to say." Daniel let a small, quiet smile touch his face. "You do not need words, you only need to understand. Humanity will not ask for war, but we will fight if it comes to us. And we will ensure no species suffers the same fate that Earth almost did." The chamber shifted. Alien delegates whispered among themselves. Some reached for their communicators. Others studied the human speakers with careful attention. Lisa Grant continued, "The fleets are repairing. The cities are rebuilding. Survivors are organizing relief. Earth is wounded, but it is alive, and we are ready to defend ourselves again if necessary." An older, blue-skinned delegate rose slowly from its seat. Its voice was low but clear. "Humans, you have proven yourselves. We have watched your courage, your strategy, your unity. Never have we seen a species so young in council yet capable of such resolve." Daniel stepped forward. "Earth has learned a lesson the hard way. We cannot rely solely on the Council to act. But now, perhaps, you can act with us. We are willing to share intelligence, resources, and tactics. Humanity will not fight alone again if others are willing to stand with us." The Council fell into a quiet murmur. Many delegates were silent. Others whispered to their neighbors. It was clear that humanity had changed the perception of every species in the chamber. Ethan Clark added, "We have intercepted communications from the enemy. They fear humanity. They will not strike again without careful consideration. The Council must acknowledge that humans are no longer the species to be dismissed." The blue-skinned elder nodded slowly. "Indeed, it seems the Council has been wrong. Earth has survived when all odds suggested it would fall. The humans have displayed courage, intelligence, and determination that few species possess." Lisa Grant's hologram flickered slightly as she nodded. "We are not asking for praise. We are asking for recognition. We are asking for alliances to prevent further attacks on our planet and others. Humanity has fought to survive, but we cannot stop there. The galaxy is vast, and threats remain." Daniel's voice was firm as he addressed the chamber. "The Council has the power to act, and it has the responsibility. But if it hesitates, if it fails to support worlds under attack, history will remember its silence. Humanity does not intend to be silent." Another delegate, a small reptilian species with golden scales, leaned forward. "You, humans, have courage. You have survived when others would have fallen. We wish to offer assistance. Our fleets are at your disposal if needed. We are convinced of your strength." Daniel nodded. "Thank you. Support is welcome, but the first lesson is clear. Humanity does not wait for permission to defend itself. We will act, and we will expect allies to act when needed." A hush fell over the chamber. The humans had spoken plainly. They had not demanded council approval before fighting, but they had proven themselves. The enemy had been repelled. Earth had survived. The council could not ignore it. Maya Collins sent another signal, broadcasting live footage of human repair crews on Earth, rebuilding cities, fixing ships, and organizing communities. Children returned to schools, streets cleared, and human engineers worked tirelessly to prepare for the future. The alien delegates watched quietly. The images told a story as powerful as any words. Earth was strong. Humanity was organized. Humanity was resilient. Daniel stepped back from the platform. We will continue to defend our home. We will continue to grow stronger. And we will ensure that Earth is no longer a world to be dismissed or attacked without consequence. Humanity has awakened, and we are ready to act when necessary. Silence filled the chamber again. It was a different kind of silence now. It was respect, not fear. It was acknowledgement, not doubt. Humanity had forced the council to recognize their courage and power. The blue-skinned elder spoke again, slowly. Humans, you have shown that even a young species can rise against impossible odds. The council recognizes your bravery. We are willing to extend full membership, and we will offer military partnership if needed. Your actions have earned this respect. Daniel nodded. Thank you. We accept the recognition. But know this, humanity will continue to act in defense of Earth and any world in danger. We will not let others suffer silently. We have learned that lesson. The galaxy will too. Lisa Grant's hologram flickered one last time. We are ready to move forward. Humanity will work with the Council, but we will not be passive again. We will protect our planet, and we will help protect others. This is our choice, and we will see it through. The chamber remained quiet for a few moments, then murmurs of approval spread. Delegates who had once doubted humans now spoke to one another with a mixture of awe and respect. Alliances began to form quietly. Offers of assistance and cooperation circulated among the representatives. Ethan Clark turned to Daniel and whispered, "We did it. The council has acknowledged us." Daniel looked out at the stars beyond the chamber's glass wall. "We did more than that," he said quietly. "They have seen what humans can do, and now they will think twice before underestimating us again." Maya Collins smiled. "We showed them." They saw everything. Humanity's courage, our determination, our will to survive. Daniel nodded. "Yes, but we also showed them hope. The enemy is not gone, but we have learned to fight, and we have learned to survive. The Council may now join us, or they may hesitate. Either way, humanity will not stop." Outside the council chamber, the galaxy continued to spin. Stars burned brightly, planets moved in their orbits, and distant worlds watched the events unfold. But for the humans of Earth, nothing would ever be the same again. They had faced annihilation, fought back, and won. They had forced the Council to recognize their strength. On Earth, cities burned no longer. Survivors rebuilt homes, repaired ships, and prepared for a future that was uncertain but filled with courage. Children played in streets that were safe again. Farmers tended to crops. Engineers repaired the orbital stations. Every human knew that the fight was not over, but they had learned that unity and courage could overcome even the greatest odds. Chloe Bennett stood on the deck of a human carrier looking out at the stars. "We have come so far," she said quietly, "but there is still work to do. We must be ready for whatever comes next." Ryan Scott placed a hand on her shoulder. "And we will be ready. Humanity survived today because we fought together. Tomorrow we fight together again, and we will continue to fight until Earth and its people are safe." Lucas Gray worked in the engineering bays, checking every ship and every weapon. "We will improve," he said. "We will learn from every battle. The enemy will return, and when they do, we will be stronger." Olivia Hart studied intelligence reports. "The galaxy knows now. Humanity is not to be dismissed. Our message is clear. Earth is defended, and we are not alone." Daniel Brooks looked at all of them proud. "We have shown the universe our courage. We have shown the Council our strength. And we have shown humanity what it can do when it refuses to be destroyed. Let this be the beginning of a new chapter." Lisa Grant's hologram faded as she returned to Earth, but her presence remained in the minds of everyone in the chamber. She had survived, she had fought, and she had shown the courage that humanity was capable of. The Council finally spoke in unison, offering acknowledgement, membership, and the promise of partnership. Humans had not asked for it, but they had earned it. Daniel Brooks and his team stood quietly, knowing that their fight was not over. The galaxy was vast, Threats were many, but humanity had proven something undeniable. They would not be broken, they would not be defeated, and they would always fight to protect their home. The fire of survival burned brighter than ever. Humanity had risen from the ashes of attack, stronger and wiser. The Council had finally found its voice, but it was the humans who had forced it to speak. And from that day forward, the universe would remember Earth not as a young, weak planet, but as a world of courage, resilience, and unyielding strength. Humanity had survived the impossible, and they would never be underestimated again.